Hey, welcome to another video of me talking about another video game I played on stream. Now, do you like hack and slash games? Adventure game? Action adventure, actually. Where you fight demonic beings and control your own demonic powers. Maybe a protagonist with the iconic colors of red and white. Yeah? Well, I got the game just for you. It's not Devil May Cry. This is Chaos Legion. Released in March 6, 2003. This game took concept from Devil May Cry and tried to make its own edgy, lore-heavy version of the successful franchise. Now, was it successful?
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
So I did play and finish this game on stream. Took me about 4 streams to finish, so give or take about 15 hours. Also, don't believe Metacritic. They say the game takes about 5 hours. But there's a thing about this game that will triple those 5 hours, which I will explain later. Yeah, now I want to tell you about this messy and pointy game that struggled to be its own thing. And I think that's what led to its obscurity. Let's start with the story. Chaos Legion starts edgy. Like, wait, Apocrypha of Izark? Wait, Chaos Legion? Dude, that's the title of the game. Who is, what, his name is Lacroix? What the fuck is Lacroix? This guy's name is Sig? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Go back. Every cutscene is like this. Seriously, every cutscene is like this. It's fast, they talk fast, they're somehow able to utter these words like they're made to fit a TikTok, and every scene goes like this. The long-haired guy blames the red-haired guy. They throw out a bunch of exposition, bunch of lore, bunch of world building, but they never express themselves. The long-haired guy is angry, the red-haired guy is passive, duty-bound, I guess. He's just there to listen. And then somehow we got a time skip. I have no idea what kind of man I'm playing, other than there's an implication that he's a murderer. What? Like nothing? In other games you get a sense of personality with the character you're playing. Let's say Devil May Cry. Whichever Devil May Cry. Let's just take 3.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
In 3, it starts off with Dante hanging out at his new place, cocky as shit. You know, this is your guy. This overconfident guy who thinks he's the king of the world. It shows well in the cutscene that follows after. Here in Chaos Legion, they tell you some guy stole a relic and you need to stop him. And then they drop you off the beginning of the mission. Okay, sure. He's not even a self-insert character because he does have lines. So you never have an idea what kind of man this guy is. Oh, his name is Sig, by the way, which they mention once.
The Knight of the Dark Glyphs, Zeke Varheit.
They mention it once. This guy here, that's your guy. His hair is like super pointy. This is truly early 2000s edginess. Like, who would make their characters full of sharp edges and points? Well, why are you looking at me? After like maybe less than an hour, there's a time skip. I'm like, what the fuck? What's the point of a time skip? What's the change? Why? And then they introduce a new character, Arcia. Like, when they introduce Arcia, they just drop her in there. And I was thinking, like, finally, a character that he can converse with, you know? Someone he can bounce off ideas off. Personalities clash, maybe they're opposites. Finally, we can get some semblance of humanity in Sig. Never happens. In fact, Arcia suffers the same issue. She's just there. She tells you where she's from, what organization she's from, who the people dead on the ground are. And then she's like, I want revenge too. Nothing. And then Sig just walks away.
Thanks for saving me. I'm Arcia. I'm one of the Maidens of the Silver. Recently, the intelligence of the Order had traced the whereabouts of Lord Delacroix. I was ordered to act as a scout and pursue him, so I separated from the head unit and came here to gather information. But how could this have happened?
It looks like he's headed for the ruins of Murdoa. Do you know him?
They're like, who? What is this? Oh my god! It really feels like these cutscenes are like TikToks where they're like trying to tell you all the information you need under a minute. There's also like a stupid thing that they try to do with Arcia. So the moment they show you her, all of her fellow
Arcia, I'm one of the Maidens of the Silver.
maidens, Order of the Maidens? Is that what they're called? All of her fellow co-workers, I suppose, were dead. And then she cuts her hair. Now, in other media, cutting your hair means a lot. In Jeanne d'Arc, in the PSP game, she gave up her womanhood and basically wanted to fight just like a man by cutting her hair, a symbol of a woman. In this game, she cuts her hair even though it's already short, and it's almost unnoticeable that she cut her hair. What the... I know they're trying to make the first meeting with Arcia memorable, but I was asking, is like, what the hell did you do that for? There's no context for that. Of all the lore dumps and expositions that they gave no explanation for cutting her hair. They just want a good looking scene. To be honest, it doesn't look like hair that she spread to the wind. It looks like something else. I don't know what. So that's how the story goes. The game keeps telling you new things, tells you new lore, new exposition, new world building stuff, and then never develops the characters. They're just there as a mouthpiece to like look at everything that we made for this game. It's insane that they could ignore the development of these characters and just keep developing the world. And because of this, it's hard to care about Sig or Arcia. They just babble about the plot. It can get really annoying. Seriously, who wrote this garbage? So now let's talk about gameplay. Well, I have the game up on the screen here. So this is Sig, your main character. His hair is less spiky than the official art that they have. His in-game model is a lot less spikier, I guess. The gameplay is simple. You have a jump button, you have your attack, you can summon your legion, and you can order your legion to attack. If you can see that flash coming from the middle of his body, that means you're ordering your legion to attack. Now, there's also one more button. This. Lock on and strafe. That's how you lock onto an enemy. Why have they turned locking onto an enemy into a two-step thing? I have no idea. Somehow, Link from Legend of Zelda does better horizontal cuts with his sword. Now your other mechanic, which is the main mechanic of this game, is the Chaos Legion. For the tutorial, they give you Thanatos, which is an overpowered legion. So let me just elaborate on the legion aspect of this gameplay. So on the top left, you have your health bar and your soul bar. The soul is the health of your legions. Your legions can get hit and take damage, but they will recover every time you hit any enemy as you can see the blue things coming out of the enemy. If you just leave your Legion standing, just standing there, it will take damage. Now there are two modes to the Legion summon, attack mode or defensive mode. You can see the flame on Thanatos going red or blue, which is triggered by the R2 button. In defensive mode, your Legion will attack anything near you or stay near you. Now it's better to leave it at offensive mode. Now you can order your Legion to attack by pressing the triangle button. As I said earlier, once you see the ring of flames coming out of Sieg, that means an order is given. So you can actually mash it and it looks ridiculous. I'm surprised they didn't like put a cooldown on that. If your Legion's already taken action, they should have let you chill with that because that looks ridiculous. If you don't have your Legion summoned and you have one full bar, you can press the triangle button without them summoned to do a skill specific to that Legion. For Thanatos, this is what he does. He basically says, fuck you to everyone. Yeah, somehow Lacroix has the power to split Thanatos into multiple pieces, and that becomes your optional quest. Throughout all of the missions, you have to look for the pieces of Thanatos if you want him back again. Otherwise, you'll be using the many available Legions for you. Now, I want to show you what Legions that you get to play. There's a bunch of them. Now, all of these play very differently if you do plan on trying them out. And they have different uses as well. The only issue is that some of them will likely be more useful than the others. So, what about Sieg? Does he power up? He does not. Sieg's only way to become powerful is through his Legions. And in order to power him up, it is not by experience points, it is through items. And not items you pick up and use, you just pick them up and leave them in your inventory. See this life max up? You can get these just by playing missions. So if you've been ignoring a lot of items that you could pick up after every battle, you're leaving Sieg powerless. Now if we get to the main gameplay, now that I've explained all of the mechanics, how does it feel to play Chaos Legion? Well, the gameplay feels actually pretty good. My only issue is that Sieg is super reliant on his Legions. He can't really do much on himself, but he can do bigger damage when he has Legions unsummoned. But there are enemies that are better dealt with Legions. For example, that thing doesn't take much damage from his sword, so you're better off summoning a Legion and deal damage with them, and they die faster that way too. And as you can see, there's also this annoying thing. After a certain point in the game, the amount of enemies that they throw at you becomes really high and becomes kind of annoying, because even with your Legions, they are bound to get hurt. And when they get hurt or ran out of soul, you will have to fight as Sieg himself only. So if you got your Sieg powered up enough, then that's fine. It can get super annoying to play. If you're thinking about grinding, there's also another thing about this game. So you go to the next stage, and maybe you thought to yourself, I'll just go to the previous stage where it's easier for me and grind there, pick up more of those items, power up Sieg. Well, the thing is, if you're playing this for the first time, you won't be able to go back. Only after stage 10, I believe, that you'll be able to go back and grind. With everything I've said so far, crowds of enemies, your Legions dying quickly because they have weaker defense than you, and Sieg not leveling up by battle but by items, and it can get really grueling to get up to stage 9 and then reach stage 10 just so you could play previous stages again to grind. And that's what I mean by 5 hours being a lie. Unless you're like some god gamer who can like just keep going without grinding. Not to mention the final boss being total bullshit. It is interesting what they're doing with the legions, but the fact that Sieg is sort of weak without them. But this is Editor Roa here, and I forgot to tell that they actually let you play as Arcia, and she has her own unique moveset. In post-game, they actually let you play all of the missions as her. So when they drop you off as her, you start off like this. With melee on the square button, pressing the L1 button for Sieg summons the legions. Pressing L1 switches her to gun mode. And pressing the square button shoots the gun. These guns auto-tracks the enemies, and she will shoot at the enemy as long as they're in front of her. So even if you're not looking and you turn Arcia there and fire, you will hit them. So you can actually just look at the minimap, shoot, and you can kill enemies that way. Her melee is not bad. It is a bit slow and clunky, so if there's a lot of enemies, it's gonna be weird. Now you're wondering, what the hell's the triangle button do? Because Sieg, if you press the triangle button, it does a skill specific to a legion, or it orders his legions to attack when he's in legion summon mode. For her, it does nothing. They literally could have kept this mode, they kept this stance, and placed fire button, or like gunfire button on the triangle button, but for some reason she has to switch stances. So she's like a nerfed version of Dante with Ebony and Ivory. There are times you will forget that. But she does have her own finisher. Her finisher is basically just a circle button. Just hit the circle button. She fires an all-around attack around her and fires a big shot at the end. Anything in front of her, and none of the enemies are moving because they keep getting hit. She's kind of broken like that. So there's also one more move I forgot to mention. Holding the square button will enter her in precision aiming mode, but you have to be in gun mode. Like this. So it's like you're using Malice, but with no limit. Kind of crazy. So, what do I think about Chaos Legion? It's an alright game. If you like hard games, this is definitely a hard game. They definitely tried to make something new, with the concept of having your own legion, I suppose. But with its very bad storytelling, you are not gonna like this story. The gameplay, which is pretty alright, but with how unfair it can get with the amount of enemies that it throws at you, I can see people dropping this game even after the first mission. I'm lucky to have someone in chat know what to do, and they tell me not to give up playing this game. The first 9 stages is just grueling. It is quite a unique game, definitely a game of its time. I think a sequel would have benefited this title very much. They probably could have polished this game, introduced new concept to balance out everything, but then again, it is Capcom, and they already have Devil May Cry. If you like hack and slash games, if you like action adventure games, it's definitely worth a try. It is currently available on PS2, so you can run it on an emulator. There is a PC port on this, but I've heard bad things about it, so you're better off emulating this game. If you're interested from just looking at the gameplay, give it a shot. It might be for you. It's definitely not for me. The first time I played it, I definitely thought it was not for me. But after finishing it, I did enjoy my time with this. I'm just sad that the storytelling is utterly garbage. Because there's beautiful models in this game. Sieg looks great. I know he's like super edgy and shit. He is definitely a product of his time. Arcea looks great, but suffers the same issue as Sig. Unexplored character, no personality, no nothing. Boring ass villain that just points at you. It's your fault, you did this. So, that's Chaos Legion. An okay action-adventure game, hack and slash. It had potential. I guess Capcom had other plans. Well, what do you guys think? Have you heard of this game? Have you played it? Was it too difficult or was it easy for you? Let me know in the comments section. And if you like this video, like, subscribe. I'm planning to do more videos of every game I finish on stream. And as always, you have a wonderful day. And it's now Christmas. It's December. Go Christmas caroling. I don't know how to end this video, but yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.